Hello everyone, welcome to 3ddesignacademy.com. In this lesson, we'll learn about how to pick objects. So there are several ways to pick objects, but in this lesson, I'll try to give you a tip on how to pick objects a little bit more quickly. So the default option for picking object or surfaces is use say Control-Shift left mouse button. You choose either pick surface or pick object and start picking the surface like this. Now the left mouse button, what it does is actually toggle. So let's say you want to pick the hood and the body side. So what you can do is keep clicking. However, if you, let's say you drag like this, what you end up doing is actually end up selecting these three surfaces, but because it's a toggle option, you'll deselect this surface. So you actually have to go back and select the objects like this. Now, however, if you choose to do this and use the middle mouse button, it'll only add surfaces to the selection. So let's say I want to add this. Even if I click, let's say I drag on this, I'm going to keep adding, but I won't be toggling like if I were to use the left mouse button. Now, let's say you have accidentally selected more surfaces than you needed to. Let's say you want this wheelhouse to be deselected. All you have to do is click the right mouse button like this. So just use the right mouse button here and it'll deselect the surfaces. Now, like the middle mouse button, it'll only deselect and not add. So it is by using these three combinations, the left mouse button to toggle, the middle mouse button to add, and the right mouse button to subtract, it is you'll have a much easier time selecting and deselecting surfaces than you to work with. Now, you can also adjust this option over here. So if you go to Preference, and if you go to Selection option and select the Options box, you'll see that this option is available. So you can actually, depending on your preference, you can change this too. So let's say if you want only your left mouse button to only pick or unpick, add or toggle, you can change that. And same thing with the middle and the right mouse button. But I prefer to keep it the default, keep it as a default, keep the default option because I just find that it's more most logical and it's most convenient. Okay, and also when you're selecting multiple, let's say you want to select just the wheel flat, but when you try to click it over here, you'll see that because there are several objects behind it, you won't be able to select just the wheel flat by itself. So in this case, what you need to do is pick surface, and I click here. You can click and hold your left mouse button, and when you just drag it along, and when you have when you see that the surface that you want to pick is highlighted, and just click your left mouse button, and it'll select the surfaces that you want to. Also, if you want to select multiple surfaces at once, it is also convenient. It is also convenient to use a drag select. So let me just turn off the shader. Let's say you want to just pick the body side, body surface without having to pick the wheel flat or the wheelhouse. Let me show you how to do this. So I'm going to say pick surface. I'm just going to toggle with the left mouse button, and because I already selected, I'm going to start using my middle mouse button to select all the surfaces that I want to pick. Now notice how I dragged and selected these two, but that's okay. So I'm just going to keep dragging and selecting all the surfaces like this, change the view like that, keep adding surfaces like this. Just keep drag selecting. Okay, so I have made my selection, and because I was using my drag, click and hold to drag to select the multiple surfaces, it was a lot faster than clicking individual surfaces. However, I made the mistake of adding too many surfaces, such as the wheel opening right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my click and hold my right mouse button in order to deselect several surfaces at once. So I'm just going to use my right mouse button, click and hold, and also going to click and hold the surface here. And I was able to select all the body surfaces like that. And if you want to move it to a different layer, you can, and you can just go to assign, or let's say you want to group it together. Because I did a hide on select, I was able to isolate these surfaces. So all you have to do is just pick it as an object, and you can press Ctrl G and group them together, and so on. All right, and that concludes this lesson, and thank you for watching.